Well, good morning, everybody. It's great to see you guys. We're doing LinkedIn Live a little bit earlier today because I'm not really feeling too good. I might take the rest of the day off. But it might be allergies. I'm not really sure. So as we go forward, I just want to say the crazy things that have been happening with the cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin. Luckily, I don't know if this is a fluke or not, but I did sell all my Bitcoin and my Ethereum and Litecoin about a week and a half ago. So I feel pretty good and buying back now a little bit. Not a lot because I think we're going to have another little dip, just a little bit. I think it's just like a dead cat bounce, but we'll see what happens. I wanted to really just come to you guys today with something that I've been really working on, and that's what I try to do. I try to bring you guys the content that I've been using and what works and what doesn't work so that you guys don't have to fail like I failed. I fail all the time. Every single day I make some type of failure, and I learn from that failure and I bring it forward. So today I want to talk to you guys about how to reach your target audience through all digital marketing. How do you do that? Targeting isn't just an important part of marketing, it is marketing. It is purely marketing. All the marketing happens for the sales team before the sales team can be effective and efficient. True, you can have a great salesperson doing phone calls, sending out emails, doing their own campaigns, but if you don't have a marketing team really working for you and your company, it's going to basically fall flat, and you might get lucky. You might. So digital marketing can be very intimidating for some people. And definitely this is an intimidating venture that some will go on. And it's definitely intimidating for most business owners and salespeople. So how do you decide where to invest your time and your hard money? How do you produce content that drives your business forward and drive it to your site? How do you bring those customers to your site? Most importantly, how do you ensure your hard work pays off with an increased brand awareness, more qualified leads, and bigger sales? If you want to succeed online, you must start knowing who your target audience really is. If you don't create content with the right target mindset, you're going to basically fail. Your efforts won't be nearly as fruitful. Then you need to have a clear step-by-step procedure and plan to keep you focused on your goals. Most people fail to set a goal to start with, yet alone putting step-by-step plans. I mean, it's like getting up in the morning. How many of you actually wrote down the steps of what you do from the time that you wake up, if it's an alarm or if you just naturally wake up? I naturally wake up at 5 o'clock every morning. And write down each step. If you start there at something that you know you do every single day and how you do it, from what foot you put your sock on first, what shoe you put your shoe on first. Well, not what shoe, but what foot you put your shoe on first. When you go through this, you start seeing the process. So I want to go over a 7-step process to identify and understand how to reach your target audience online. You can implement these steps on your own for any business and industry, just like getting out of bed in the morning. If it feels like a full-time job on its own, don't worry. You're not alone. And yes, it is pretty much a full-time job in marketing your business. Let me tell you, I've been doing this for a long time, 24 years now in business, and been really pushing hard on the marketing for the last 3 years with our Network Promise. You can make sure that these processes are implemented by creating a marketing department or by hiring a marketing agency, someone that can empower you with your marketing. Right? So like empowering marketing is like huge, and most people just blow right by it. Both are something to think about in the long run if it's not possible for you at this very, very moment. Also, if you have any questions on digital marketing, reaching out over social media, let me know in the comments down below. Please put your comments in there now, and I will get to them at the end of this broadcast. And I will try to address each and every one of them by the end of today's stream, or I'll hit them afterwards. So if you're seeing the recording of this, leave a comment. I'll come back in there and take care of that at any point in time. Okay, guys? Thank you. And all right, so let's dive right into it. So the 7 steps that I use are really like the process. And remember, the goal of this process is to identify and understand and reach your target audience. So let's start with step number 1. You need to clearly define your target audience. Who are they? Where is your target audience before you have a productive conversation in any setting? It helps to know who you're talking to. I mean, in sales, you want to know a bit of information on the prospect that you are pitching to. Well, the same principle applies to online conversations. Before you can engage with your target audience effectively, you have to know exactly what makes up that audience as well. A customer survey is a great way to learn more about your target audience. And it doesn't have to be complicated. Don't make it complicated at all, right? Let go of that ordinary world that's totally pulling and dragging you down, because it will, trust me. You need to be effective. Just some basic demographics like age, location, title, and so on. Just keep bringing that information on and try to figure out what that is. Once your survey is done with your customers, compile that information and learn with buyer personas. The buyer persona is like a semi-fictional character. I mean, really, draw it out. What does this person actually look like? Because there's several different ones. Don't treat all the customers the same. And by doing the survey, you can really bring all that into picture, right? And represent a specific segment of your target audience. When you create a study and that buyer persona for your company, it becomes much easier to create content that will reach out and grab them and engage the members in your target audience and your target market. That brings us to step number 2, is identifying your target audience truly cares about. What do they care about? If your customer want to listen to what you're saying, then you got to understand what they want to hear, right? So when you reach out to them, they want to hear what you're saying. Well, if you already know the buyer's persona, this is going to really help. It helps to publish the content that answers the questions that they're already asking. What are the questions that all your customers are asking all the time? It's impossible to do this until you understand what your target audience truly cares about. Customer surveys, the key research, right? So these are like taglines for SEO and so forth. They're all social listening. They're all helpful tools to help identify what your audience really truly cares about. As you do your research, remember to ask the question like, what is the biggest pain points that my customer deals with on a daily basis? What goals are really driving them forward, right? And what are their personal lives and careers like? They're answering maybe to a boss. Maybe they are the boss. Maybe they're dealing, what drives them is their shareholders. What problems keep them up at night? I mean, that's a great one. But if you find out that information, right, or at least send them into like some type of search engine, there's a thing called Google, right? So if you could do that, that's great. How many salespeople, if you're a salesperson right now, do you know this information? If you're a business owner, do you know this information? And if you're in marketing, I'm sure you guys already know this information and have a customer hierarchy that you already have identified, or carrier hierarchy in our case. These answers will help you create a detailed buyer persona and a plan engaging content to reach your target market online. The next step is number 3, is considering how your target audience wants to receive the information, right? You have the golden rule, treat people how you want to be treated, but the platinum rule is treating people how they want to be treated. Once you know what your audience cares about, consider how they want to receive the information on that topic. Do they prefer videos, long-form articles, face-to-face meetings, live streams, side-by-sides, podcasts? When you know your target audience and what they prefer and the type of medium they prefer as well for new information, you can focus your efforts on producing content they actually enjoy. I can remember doing this maybe 10 years ago when we were doing publications in magazines. Millennials are saying, what are magazines? Right? So I remember being in Time magazine and so forth and really placing those ads, and we were trying to hit a certain demographic. So now things are totally different with internet, right? It's a bigger web. And in addition to identifying the best content medium, it's also a good idea to dig into what tone resonates most with your target audience. Do they respond well with humor or prefer a more reserved tone? You know, I'm going to save you the jokes because I have a great joke, but it's, ask me later, I'll tell you it. And are they comfortable, right? So this is where you got to understand, are they comfortable with humor? If they're not comfortable with humor, don't say it, right? You have to identify with the industry and the jargon. If you're throwing a whole bunch of jargon out there, is it the jargon that they're used to, or is it like just mute to them? Or do they appreciate more transparency on the language that you're using? Adopting the right tone in your digital marketing is critical to ensuring your target market really feels seen, heard, and understood. And if you're not hitting those things, forget about it. Listen, listening is more important than talking. You have to listen to your customers. And so many times we have salespeople that just go out there and talk, and they never listen. By doing these surveys allows you to gather the information, listen to it, compile it, and bring it forward. This brings me to step number 4. And this is providing valuable content on your target audience. Now that you know who your target audience is, what kind of topics they want to hear about, and how they want to receive the information and new information they want to see or hear, you're ready to produce some content. If you didn't do all the other steps, the other 3 steps, and now you're on step number 4, you missed the boat. Especially if you're a high-performing salesperson or someone starting out at a new company or a company or another sales position that you're in. You missed the boat on everything. You just can't just sit down and think everything's going to land in your lap. It's a hard journey. You got to have fun doing all this. Every blog, every email, every video, every social media post you produce should be written with your buyers' personas in mind. Strive to answer the common questions, solve their problems, and provide value for your buyers' personas in your content. Not your buyer, but your buyers' personas. Get that. When you do, your prospective customers will be far more likely to follow and engage with you and your brand. The next step is number 5. It's so essential in meeting your audience on their preferred platform. That's why we're on so many different platforms. If you're just on LinkedIn right now, great. If you're just on YouTube right now, great. If you're on Facebook, great. I'm going to save you all the jargon because you may not be there. You can write the best LinkedIn articles in your industry, but if your target market is spending all their time on YouTube, you're only wasting your time, guys. Use your customers' research and buyer personas to determine where you should share your content and where you should create it as well. Once you know your target markets and their preferred platforms, you can now focus in your efforts on those platforms to maximize the research of your content. For us personally, we use LinkedIn as our main go-to. I mean, really. It's great for business-to-business marketing, and a lot of prospects and clients are there as well. I'm on there at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm on there at 10 o'clock at night, and I'm on there all day listening to you guys, accepting connections, seeing who's following us. We added on about 500 followers in the last week. And so thank you to the followers out there. Thank you to the people that I'm connected to. And after a period of time, if there's no connection, get rid of the people that are connected to you that isn't part of your buying personas. people that aren't going to be that preferred client or partner or someone that could possibly come work at your company or someone that you can help. Look at that. And then once you get to that, let's get to step number 6. It's really about making it easy for your audience to find you. Hanging out on your customer's preferred platform is only part of making it easy for your audience to find you. Engage with your followers. Use popular and relevant hashtags, right? The little pound sign. And pay to promote your posts or run ads when your budget allows for it. Go into this with some type of budget. Go to your CFO and say, listen, I really need a larger budget in order to do what I need to do. Well, they're going to ask you, what's the ROI? What's the opportunity cost? And if you do not have the answers to that, you're probably not going to get your budget. Steps like these can make a huge difference in getting the content you've worked so hard to create in front of more members on your target audience. Really. You worked so hard to put all this content together. I mean, it takes days and nights to put this whole thing together. Just today, understanding like, hey, I really want to talk to you guys about this. I think this is what you guys really want. And then hearing it from the source that we're really applying this. Look at what we're doing. It's not rocket science. There's no delta V and, we're not going into quantum physics or quantum entanglement. Right? Trying to go through the little slash, right? And if you're here today, you did go through the slash. So that's kind of cool. If for all the quantum physics people out there or rocket engineers, you guys know what I'm talking about. Everybody else, this is cool stuff. The last step. Let's get to the last step. And so if you have questions, put them down in the comments. So the last step is probably one of the most important. It's step number 7. It is to be consistent. If you're not consistent in anything, if you don't get out of bed every day, right? Consistently. And get ready for work. That's consistency, right? I make my bed every day in the morning, right? My wife doesn't, right? She doesn't make her side. I make my side. That's up to her. So I'm consistent on that. Digital marketing is not a marathon. Don't think of it as a marathon. That's where you shut down. Your ego, your ordinary world shuts down. It's not a marathon. Where you're not running. You have to practice. It's not a sprint, right? If you think about it, it's like running across the United States. It's larger than a sprint. It's larger than a marathon. It is getting prepared and running every day across the United States. Digital marketing is like running across the United States. Not a marathon, not a sprint. If you produce a ton of great content for your target audience in the first few months and then burn out, your results will quickly stall out. I think it's almost like walking across the United States because I wonder how long that would take. That'd be kind of fun. I'd prefer to walk the Appalachian Trail with my buddy Mark. That'd be kind of cool. To get the most out of what your online marketing efforts are, it's important to show up on a regular basis and offer valuable content and on a consistent basis. And maybe jump in a little joke every now and then or share a little personal thing about yourself. Are you noticing? It's happening right now. If you find yourself struggling to schedule out content and stick with it, use a digital calendar. If that comes into place, make sure you do that. Use a digital calendar to keep that consistency going. A digital marketing agency can do the work for you. They'll be consistent, trust me. And report back on the results. This will empower your growth of your business and especially your online attentiveness without spending your time on the long haul efforts of reaching out and engaging in your target audience. So, in conclusion, see, it's coming. In conclusion, and this shirt, my sister Amy gave me this shirt. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Love you. Once again, personal stuff. Whether you decide to oversee your own digital marketing or partner with a professional digital marketing agency to reach your goals, you should always start in the same place, identifying and most importantly, understanding your target audience. If you are already an established business and hopefully already know your customer pretty well, what kind of people are they? And what kind of pains do they have and value? And looking at value, what do they value and what are they looking for? However, creating the content consistently is the challenge. The more specific you can be in defining your target market and creating your buyer personas, the better content you will create and the more effective you will be in reaching and engaging your target audience. I hope you all took something away from this on this digital marketing phase of what I'm bringing forward on this LinkedIn Live. And I hope it really stuck. This digital marketing has really helped us over the last 3 years by reaching new customers and helping us grow as a business overall. So with that, I just want to say thank you. Thank you, and I hope you guys have a blessed day. But before we leave, I do see some comments over here. So let's just go ahead and see what we got. Hey, Becker. Thanks, Danish. This is great. Thank you, sir. It is. With love from South Africa. Thanks a lot, Jimmy. Appreciate it. My question is, do you speak Afrikaans? Dublin. My daughter, my 11-year-old daughter in 5th grade, just did a full PowerPoint, and I was down in South Africa. It was pretty. I love that place. I was down in Botswana also, so it's great. If you've never been to South Africa or Africa, go. It's just beautiful, and it's lovely. Great info, Jim. Thank you, Amy. Hey, my sister. Now that's pretty cool. Thank you. Nice shirt, huh? And thanks, Drew. That's her husband. Hey, Jim, are you fine? No, my throat is terrible. And I've been talking now for 20 minutes, 25 minutes. So, yeah, my throat, I'm probably going to take a sick day at some point in time today. And I got that. Cool. Thanks, Dwight. So, listen, I just want to say thank you very much. Let me pull up this map again. Let's see how long that would take to actually walk. 912 hours to walk 2,778 miles. There's 168 hours in a week. So 900, let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, that's what, 7, I think that's 7 weeks it would take to walk. I got 38 days. 38 days, how many weeks is that? 7, and that's 5.4 days. Yeah, 5.4 days. So I gave you that too. So listen, I hope you guys have a blessed day. Enjoy it. Thank you very much. See you guys next week.